What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to the third Anfield Agenda video of the day, the player ratings video. Actually, it's the fourth video of the day, if you remember the watch along, Craig, which I was a part of, so I probably should. As always, what? Fifth video? Fifth video with the highlights. You know what I mean? We're doing bits today. As always, though, ladies and gentlemen, this watch along is being brought to you with thanks to our sponsors for our match day content today, the OneFootball app. You can find the OneFootball app in the link in the description. Of course, it is entirely free, and what we're going to be doing in this video as well is using some of the information we've gathered from the OneFootball app, using the player ratings and stuff that we've come to, looking at the numbers in the OneFootball app, and I'm going to ask you guys for your help in the live chat. So I'm going to go through it player by player, and we're going to ask you to help for the player ratings. I'm going to give my rating. We'll see what you guys do as well. And again, you can download the OneFootball app entirely free from the link in the description. That link lets them know that we sent you, and they will be a part of all of our match day content for the home games moving forward. So yeah, you love to see it, and well played, the OneFootball app. Right, let's get into it. First name up on the sheet, this man, the beautiful Brazilian, Alisson Becker, ladies and gentlemen, involved in some really big moments today. Some, you know, they mightn't seem like major moments after a 2-0 victory, but there were some big saves there, and the one at the end was the one that impressed me the most. Strong left-handed save down from Ashley Barnes. I love the fact that Ashley Barnes got so frustrated today because he never got to have himself a goal. So yeah, I'm going to give Alisson a good steady 8 because I think he deserves it. He did make a mistake in the first half when he came out, missed the ball, Tarkowski got his head on it, but apart from that, so everything that was asked of him he did. His distribution was on point, but most importantly, he made himself a human wall. So I'm going to give Alisson a solid A for me, and we will move on to the next one, which is this gentleman here, Trent Alexander-Arnold, the man who there was doubts about last season, the man who some people had cheek to write off and say that he was overhyped or finished. He has come back in pre-season and started the new campaign in absolutely wonderful form, and he was my personal man of the match today. It was a close one. I think he could have picked any of the back five or some of the front three, but for me again today, you're going to hear this quite across most of the back four, but I'm also going to give Trent an 8 because I don't really think he put a foot wrong. The ball around the corner for Sadio Mané was exquisite, absolutely exquisite. It did of course come from some good work from Harvey Elliott as well, but just seeing the young man switch the ball from side to side and do all the things that he does, it's phenomenal, and I can't wait to see how he continues to develop. And I don't even want to think what he's going to be like at 26, 27 when he hits his prime. So again, another A for me for Trent. Moving on now to Big Verge. Great to see him back again. Another full 90 minutes under the belt for Virgil van Dijk. We wondered would he even be fit to start the season, and I have to say, I didn't think he would. I thought we'd slowly see him introduced, but he built up the minutes in pre-season, and today, alongside Joel Matip yet again, they formed a great partnership at the start of the season. 2 clean sheets in a row. Again, a good block from Barnes to deny him a good opportunity towards the end of the game, and himself and Matip were always there dealing with anything that was asked of them, and they make it look easy at times, and it's very rare you see Verge have to go to ground, but he did there with Barnes at one point. So again, I know you're going to keep hearing this from me, but they were all really good, so I'm going to give an 8 to Virgil van Dijk. I'm going to be a little bit cheekier when it comes to Joel Matip because, dare I say it, I think Joel Matip was slightly the better of the 2 centre-backs today. I know, it's almost sacrilege for me to say that, but this man particularly impressed me in the first half. There was one incident where he had 2 players backing onto him, and he had to deal with both of them on the 6-yard box, and he still managed a little sneaky toe round the corner to poke it away. Always dealt with stuff aerially, always a calm presence at the back, very good reader of the game, and himself and Van Dijk, they just look like 2 Rolls Royces out there. So I'm going to go and give an extra half point to Joel Matip, so I'm going to give Joel an 8.5, even though my man of the match only got 8, I know, but I'm giving Joel an 8.5 because I think he's under a lot of pressure, particularly with the likes of Canade coming in and stuff. So let's upgrade Trent early to an 8.5 as well, just so we can make them both level. Moving on to the next one, ladies and gentlemen. This gentleman here, Kostas Tsimikas, a player who we brought in from Olympiacos, and it was great to see some of the Olympiacos fans in the chat today as well, supporting and loving Kostas Tsimikas, and we are finally getting to see what he's all about. I mean, nobody wanted Andy Robertson to pick up an injury, but it's fair to say in pre-season and since the season has started, Kostas Tsimikas has been top class. He was involved in 2 goals already, 2 assists from the wide left-hand position, 1 today right onto the head of Diogo Jota. In his first game, he was caught dawdling in possession once. Today, I thought he was a lot more solid. Great engine as well. I'm going to give Tsimikas another 8, which makes up pretty much 8s across the board. Couple of 8.5, but I will change, I promise. You're not going to just hear the number 8 out of me today, because we move on to El Capitan, Jordan Henderson. Not playing in his natural position today. He can play the 6, of course, but we do know that Jordan Henderson is more of a natural 8, likes more of a box-to-box player. Works well on that right-hand side. Himself and Trent like to whip in those crosses from deep, but if I'm being honest, you could see Henderson was working his way back to fitness today. He isn't quite 100% yet, and I didn't think it was Jordan Henderson's best game, although always a professional, thoroughly top tier performance from Hendo. But for me, going to be a little bit cruel here, going to give him a 7. I don't think he was that good. I think there's still improvements to come, but that will come with match fitness as the season wears on as well. So for the captain, for me, look, you might think it's a little bit harsh, but I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10, because I think our midfield today was an area that was probably the weakest part of the team. I thought our defence was great, our attacking play was great, but we could still do it a little bit more from midfield, in my humble opinion. Moving on to this gentleman, Harvey Elliott. It's the first start in the Premier League at home at a full Anfield. The nerves could have gotten to the kid. I had a little bit of concern and excitement before the game about him. I needn't have. Yes, there was a couple of slack passes, but you can always see the brain thinking. You can always see what he wants to do with Mohamed Salah and Trent, those little 1-2s. And for Sadio Mane's goal, it came from beautiful chest control, little drop of the shoulder as well from Harvey Elliott, ball into Trent to Sadio Mane, banged home, and it was 2-0, and that was the job done. And this kid, to me, I think as the season goes on, his confidence will get better, and we're just going to see him he's just going to be like a phoenix rising from the ashes. People doubted him. People said that would he ever make it to the stands of the likes of Sancho and Mounts and other players. I think he will, and I think he'll be right up there, and I think we have a potential £100 million footballer on our hands down the line. Harvey Elliott, to me, because it wasn't the perfect performance, because he did have some passing mistakes, I'm going to give him a 7.5, just a little bit ahead of Henderson. And the reason I'm being that harsh on Harvey is because I think he can be a solid 8 and 9 player when he really starts to perform and the confidence is flowing and he becomes an established part of this starting 11. Right, moving on to this gentleman, our Ghanaian international Naby Keïta. First and foremost, how great is it to see him put in 2 back-to-back shifts starting in the Premier League. Again, did what Naby Keïta does, breaks up play a bit, looks to get on the front foot, sometimes goes a little bit unnoticed, a lot like Henderson at times in the work that he does, but a good link-up play with Sadio on the left-hand side at times. Still, though, I think we need more from our midfield. We're still just lacking a bit of rhythm or something. And I know we bypass midfield a lot. I know that we use the width and we use our centre-backs to play long diagonal balls. But when we do get those breaks and we do look to win the balls high up the pitch, I'd like to see a little bit more creativity at times from the midfield. So, Naby today, good solid shift. Great to see him getting the minutes under his belt. I'm going to give him a 7. Ladies and gentlemen, this beautiful Portuguese man here, Diogo Jota, 2 games, 2 goals, perfection. 1 as a substitute, 1 as a starting player, and he always finds a yard. I mean, one of the things that impresses me most about Diogo Jota is his match intelligence. So, Tsimikas picked up the ball left-hand side, and if you watch the movement of Diogo Jota, he basically splits the 2 defenders for Burnley, finds space in between the 2 of them, and guides a header past Nick Pope. I thought he was phenomenal. I love Diogo Jota. I love everything about the man, and I think he will bring a lot of goals to the team as well. So, Diogo Jota gets an 8 from me today. Very, very good performance from him, and I think it'll turn out to be a bargain. I know a lot of people question the money at the time. Genuinely, I think it'll turn out to be a bargain. Right, next one up, this man, Mohamed Salah. Did not get on the score sheet today, which is unusual for Mo, but is always involved in a lot of our great attacking play going forward as well. His upper body strength and his hold-up play is phenomenal. And I keep talking about the link-up that he has with Trent, but the relationship he's starting to build as well with young Harvey Elliott, I think will be special, and we have a good season to look forward to there. Great show of faith today by Klopp to play Elliott up alongside him as well, or just in behind him. And what I like about Harvey Elliott is he drops into space and gives Mohamed Salah options to run around the corner. Salah, he showed a bit of pace that I thought he'd lost today. I won't lie, I was impressed with the afterburners being turned on at one point. Didn't get himself a goal today. Probably not Mohamed Salah's best performance that we're going to see this season. Always a danger, always a threat. Oh, difficult one this. 7.5, because I feel a 7 is too harsh and an 8 is probably a little bit too much considering what we know the man is capable of. Moving on to the next man, Sadio Mané. I love that he's proven doubters wrong. I love that people thought he was washed up at the end of last season. He said himself, by his own high standards, he hadn't performed to the level that he'd hoped, and he got himself a wonderful goal today. Couple of other half chances as well, always involved in a lot of our good attacking play, but I won't lie, I don't think it was his best performance. I actually thought he was better against Norwich than he was today, but he got himself on the score sheet, and that has to count for something, because you don't get on the score sheet without being in the right areas. That being said though, still going to give him a 7. I don't think he's there yet. I think there's a bit more to come from Sadio Mané, but I am liking the linking up between himself and Mo, and I love the ideas and the space. The distance between them for me is really important, by the way, because it gives them so many more options with regards to just tearing defences apart, and you love to see it. Right, let's move on to the substitutes now. Who have we got next up? Have we gone through them all? No, we've got some more to go through. Bobby Firmino. There's something that the cop wants you to know, ladies and gentlemen. This man is far from finished. I keep seeing him doubted, particularly by opposition fans, talking about him not being a real number 9. We never looked at him as a real number 9. But he only came on today towards the end of the game. Didn't really impact it all too much. And, got himself a goal off the bench last week. But today did what Bobby does. Runs around, blocks people, closes down the channels, presses. It's hard to give marks for somebody who's only on the pitch for 15 minutes or so let's just give him a 7 for the sake of idling and middling it. I don't really think there's too much to say about Bobby's performance today, except look at that beautiful smile, and how great is it to have him back. And I love the fact that Diogo Jota nicked his goal celebration as well. The last one I'm going to give a player rating to is Thiago Alcantara, our Spanish samba star. I know it's weird saying those two things together, but not really much to say in his little cameo today. I mean, yes, you can always see the brain ticking over. You usually see him being able to pick out a pass before the ball even arrives to him, but I still want more. I want more from Thiago. I want him to impact games on the front foot more, and I think that we will see, when we have Fabinho back, the best of it. I feel Thiago's been really unlucky throughout his time at Liverpool, in that through his own injuries and never really having an established midfield that he can get the most out of. So when we have Henderson and Fabinho in there, or when we have Keïta and Fabinho in there alongside him, I really think we'll start to see more of Thiago. And the fact that we still think he's got gears to go through just kind of makes it scary how many options we have in the team, even looking at the transfer window. So I'm going to give him a 6, because I didn't think he did that much when he came on, to be fair, and he wasn't on for that long. So that's what I've come to, my conclusions on the player ratings today, ladies and gentlemen. As always though, I do want to know what you guys think, so if you're watching this back later on, please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section as well. And just a reminder that today's content and today's watch-alongs have been brought to you on all our videos today by the good folks of the OneFootball app. You can download the OneFootball app entirely free with the link in the description. As you can see on the screen there now, so many options, covers all the top leagues in Europe. You'll get all the analysis of today's games, statistics, league tables. Oh, and if you want to look at the league table, here's a little hint for you. We're top of it. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are top of it. That brings an end to our match day footage here on Anfield Agenda, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back tomorrow with a late night agenda. Keep an eye out on the channel, on our Anfield Agenda extra channel as well, for some clips, and all of our goal reactions will be coming up as well. Thank you to Jack Gill for all of his work earlier on. Thank you to Connor for all of his help, but mostly thank you to you guys for your support as always. We will see you tomorrow for a late night agenda. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The Reds are back, 6 points out of 6.